These books had major potential last year. What happened? Find out. Welcome back, Gainers, to another incredible, exciting, fantastic episode of ComicGains! And if you're new to the show, I'm Adam.
I'm Zach, and this is the Princess Royal House, looking very lovely today, just like usual, doing the princess wave. You do too, bow down respect, and of course, there's the Coco dog.
She made it. The mascot is here.
Mascot.
All right, guys. Today is Monday, and happy Easter to everybody last year, if you care about such things. Today is the drop list, and we have a very special announcement for this episode. Some changes to the channel, so stay tuned for all the important updates. Yeah, should be an exciting episode. The ComicGains crew gets together every week, and we scour the internet for trending lists, hot lists, any kind of speculatory lists, and we combine those together and make what is called the drop list. So these books had to be hot 1 year ago, and we find out why they're not now. We put them in order from smallest drop all the way to the largest drop. And if you stay to the end of the show, the Slab Master, Zach, will give you his expert opinion on which of these books you should pick up or maybe forget. Before we get into any of that, though, we need to have ourselves a nice little drink.
They call me Dr. Slabworthy. But in regards to that, in regards to the drink, it's going to be a Monster, 0 sugar, 0 calories, 0 ultra.
0 taste.
0 taste.
What's the flavor on that? Nothing?
Water. It's water.
Salt water.
Yeah.
You're like,
You gotta get a little bit of electrolytes, right?
Salt water.
That's what electrolytes, guys. That's what electrolytes is.
Ooh.
Salt.
All right, and if you're looking to get some good electrolytes coming up soon, Whatnot Con is going to be April 11th through the 14th, and this is the back of the sign. But come hang out with us. ComicGains will be on Whatnot Con. We're actually going to be on April 13th at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Zach and Adam will be there. It's going to be amazing. We have all these special exclusives that will only be sold on the show. I don't know what other people are going to do with theirs, but we're going to sell ours at $1. So you want to come to our show, check it out. It's going to be amazing. Coco will be there. Princess will be somewhere else, but come kick it.
And we're going to have old books too. Maybe some books like these. But not these.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Oh, yeah, they will be. All right, guys. No. See you on April 13th. Let's get into the drop list. This one is an amazing list this week. All major keys that you wish you had. Maybe you do have them. I don't know. Let us know. Number 5 on the list, we got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, The Last Ronin, issue number 1. 2020, man, that's a big book, isn't it?
It's a big
magazine size. We got Kevin Eastman writing and drawing this one. Got some nice glare on the cover there. First appearance of Oroku Harato, who is the grandson of Shredder. Zach's always interested in the lineage of Shredder. You're a big Shredder lineage kind of guy. We got Casey Marie Jones, also first appearance, kind of makes sense. It's the daughter of Casey and April. For some reason took the name of the father, but that works, I guess. You know, might be that kind of thing. Yeah, this is actually it's a cool story. It's awesome thing. I didn't realize this actually. Peter Laird and Kevin Eastman actually outlined this story back in 1987. So they had plans to write this long time ago, and it takes place 30 years in the future from the regular Turtle story in a dystopian future where everything's kind of destroyed and crappy. People love that kind of thing when that happens. And there's a lone turtle. So we get to see this one turtle, and he has all 4 of the brothers' weapons. So it's a very awesome mystery. Everyone was like really confused, like, who is this? Is it one of the brothers? Is it some like child of the turtles? Like, it was, everyone's like really wanted to know. And that was an amazing, like, stir it all up the pot. Like, everyone's like, we got to get this book. We got to read it. You got to know who this like mystery turtle is. And I think it's one of the smartest things they've done with turtles in a long time. So smart, in fact, that it had a huge print run. 130,000 copies. Whoa. Which in modern days is huge. Like a regular big print run is probably somewhere around 60,000, and even if it's a little bit, 30,000 is even considered normal. So 130,000 is crazy. Yeah, obviously this book got hot last year for a number of reasons. They've had multiple spin-offs. I think they're up to the third or fourth um, Last Ronin spin-off they're up to now, as well as a video game is now in development for this book. It's crazy. They just it's an amazing thing that IDW was able to pull this off with Turtles, bring them back into the limelight, as well as they've had some good shows and movies come out that a lot of people have liked. But this Last Ronin thing, I think, was an amazing thing. I got a Bolo report, and there is over 100 different variants for this. So we're gonna go down every single one on the list. No, I'm just kidding. We're not gonna. That would be crazy. Zach's like, don't do that. Keep in mind, there's an ash can for this book that is almost equally valued to the regular one. Although I feel like it's harder to get. I haven't seen any like barely 9.9s in this one at all. Just a few ones to look at. There's a metal version of this. I have like 101 copies. It's pretty expensive. It's the Aaron Bartlett one. There's also a regular one of that one as well that's pretty expensive. And there's a few peach ones, just to note, that I think are cool and have some good value as well. Like I said, there's over 100 different variants for this. And most of them are actually good. It's just there's so many that they kind of don't reach the value of the regular ones. More importantly, though, what's the price on this? Because there's a lot of different. You can get 10 O's in this book. Obviously, 9.9s. You saw Princess holding one.
For a CGC 9.8, I'll just get the 9.8 price as of right now. 9.8, it was radical a year ago at $222 for a CGC 9.8. Pretty respectable for a book with this much of a print run and higher grades. Now, it's spun out a little bit at 185. The range is 102 to 261, average sales 179. It's a 17% drop. There's been a 9.9 recent sale of $525. Ooh. So that's a $525 book that the princess is holding. They're
get Zach excited.
Yeah. Their last 10.0 Gem Mint sold. Add 1,000 onto it. It was 1,525 exactly.
Wow.
$1,000 premium between a 9.9 and a 10, and there is basically no difference. It just they were able to see one little flaw with the 9.9, and with the 10, it was like we can't see anything. And what really helped this book was that it was square bound.
Yeah.
Square bound really helps out books to potentially have a higher grade. It has more structure. Metal is even more so. Okay, there's total graded of cover A 5,710. There's 18 10.0s. That's less than 1% of the print run. There's 335 9.9s. That's 6% of total graded. And there's 2,738 9.8s. That's 48% of total grade.
There you go.
So most of the time, you're going to get a 9.8 with this book. It's easy to get a 9.8, and it's pretty amazing that the 9.8's retained its value in the $200 range. That's pretty amazing. That just tells you how good this book is, how many people are after this book. So, pretty decent price, pretty decent book. I would say for this, you probably want to buy a couple copies. Try to send it in to get a 9.9.
Pre-screen.
Maybe maybe 10. Yeah, don't get me started with that. Maybe 10, and I think that's a good way to get a 9.9, value without spending a crap ton of money. So that's what I would do.
Yeah.
That's what I do. I would say this is probably a buy raw, but if you buy graded, you're just gonna spend a lot more money, which I don't have a problem spending money.
Yeah, never a problem.
Never a problem.
All right, guys. Number 4 on the list, we got Batman Adventures number 12. Ooh, 1993. We got Mike Paradek and Kelly Puckett working on this great book. For some reason, I always thought this was like a Bruce Timm cover, but it's not. It's not. Feel like it should have been. Could have been. Anyway, y'all know this book, right? First appearance of Harley Quinn in Standard Comics. Obviously, this is one of those age-old stories. I guess this has happened a couple times now, where a character shows up in a cartoon. So the Batman Adventures cartoon, which is considered by a lot of people to be the greatest animated superhero cartoon of all time. I enjoyed it a lot. I enjoyed it a lot growing up. It's a pretty amazing thing.
Mhm.
I think actually Bruce Timm and them were actually the showrunners for it, which was kind of cool. They actually helped like create the show. But yeah, she appeared in the cartoon as a henchwoman for Joker, and people liked her so much that they added her into the comic. So the this version, the Batman Adventures comic book, is technically out of continuity. It's like supposed to be a kids comic book that doesn't take place in the normal Batman continuity line. She does have a first appearance in continuity, which is what's that?
Oh, in continuity, which is Batman, Batman Harley Quinn, the graphic novel.
There you go.
Yeah,
exactly. So keep that in mind. It's definitely worth a lot less than this one, but just it's a cool thing. And over the years, she has been portrayed many times by different people, and Margot Robbie. When I think of Harley Quinn as a real person, I kind of go to my Margot Robbie thoughts in my mind. And obviously, she's been in some good movies, she's been in some bad movies, but she's kind of like the Hugh Jackman of DC. That's your go-to, who you think of.
very true.
On the other side, voice acting, we've got Arlene Sorkin, who's the original voice actress for Harley Quinn, which I know a lot of people, when you imagine her voice in your head, you think of Arlene Sorkin's voice, that great voice. But times are changing, things are switching up, and we're getting different people. Zach will tell you the Harley Quinn cartoon show, which is on HBO
Really
Max, is superb, which our
Very
good friend Kaylee Kuko is the voice actress for that, which almost is as good as the original.
Sounds very similar.
A lot of people will put it up there. And the reason this book was hot last year is Lady Gaga is going to be the new Harley Quinn in the upcoming Joker sequel. And last year on March 2023, we got to see some set photos leaked of her in costume. And I don't know if a lot of people are kind of like, I enjoyed the original Joker movie. It was kind of a one-time watch for me, though. It was like good, and everything was good about it. It was a little cringy, though, at the same time, to have to witness that sort of thing. So it's not like something I wanted to see again, even though I'll give it like my thumbs up that it's a good movie. So it's kind of weird. Like, it's like a sequel that I don't know if I really wanted a sequel to that movie. So we'll see how this goes. I'll definitely watch it and see how this works out. And obviously we know Lady Gaga is a good actress, and she's been in plenty of things. She can hold her own, and she's strange like Joaquin Phoenix is, so she can pull it off. So I'm sure she can pull this off and be weird. Keep in mind, I got the Bolo report for you on this one, guys. There's a newsstand edition if you're looking to invest, right, Zach? Which is probably over $1,000 more than the regular one in raw and high grade.
Mm-hmm.
So keep that in mind. I'm sure in the graded version, it even goes even more. And this is really the only one to look out for if you're a fan of this book. Princess will tell you there's some Bruce Timm covers that are worth picking up. They're definitely nowhere near the original price. And if you're Zach, there's some international covers, which garnish a little bit of money as well, but nowhere near the regular value as well. But more importantly, graded prices, it used to be way more expensive, right?
The first thing, real quick, one thing that you forgot to mention, there is it's almost not even a comic, it's like a square, it's like more like a square, and it came in with a record, or I don't think a toy, but it came in with a record, a Batman record, and it's considered to be like almost at the same time as her first appearance.
Okay.
It's like second appearance. I'll show you a picture later. But
put it up. It'll be right here, right over my face.
Right over his face. And
oh, there it is.
It's a pretty good cover.
And
right.
I'll be on the lookout for that.
Yeah. If you can get it, wow, it's a lot of value for you, especially in high grade. Anyways, I digress. So it was Harley Quinn, Batman, amazing, fantastic, awesome show for 9.8 a year ago, $2,900 for the direct edition. Pretty expensive for a book that came out in, I believe, the 90s. 1993. Now, dropped a little bit. It's the Batarang kind of just deflected at $2,000. So $900 loss. The low was $1,750. The high is $3,200. Average sales $2,447. It's a 31% drop. There's a whopping $9,459 total graded. Only 1,254 are 9.8s, and that's specifically for direct edition. So that's 13% of total graded. So this book is not easy to get in a 9.8 by any means. By how many they put up there, it's only basically only a 13% chance.
Which is strange for a book that came out in 1993, but I can attest that this actually happened to me, that I got this book in 1993 and I thought it was silly. So I didn't even put it in a bag and board and threw it in a box in the back of my closet because I'm like, I don't want no lipstick on my Batman book. And I didn't get it back for like 20 years later and realized that I had a really expensive book that was just sitting in the back of my closet at my mom's house, which is crazy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
Very
that's probably why a lot of these books didn't get 9/8, because little boys like me didn't give a damn about this book.
Right.
Yeah.
And also, there is a legend that there's a DC universe, but no one has ever seen it. No one's ever seen it.
It's like
But
Bigfoot, the Sasquatch.
yeah, but it's right at the same time
Yeti.
period that they did, like, you can see 11, 13 DC universe,
Yeah.
but you never see 12. So, are you out there? I'll find you one day if you are.
It could happen.
Anyways, I do it. It's a great book. Try to get it raw, because getting this in 9.8 is spending too much bloody money. Unless you really like Harley Quinn.
Sometimes, yeah, you can find them in the wild. We've actually found a couple in the wild, so it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. All right, number 3 on the list. Let's go way, way back to the Silver Age. Let's talk about Amazing Spider-Man, issue number 15. You got that book?
I don't have
You
that.
have it? Oh, no.
Man.
I wish we had that book. 1964, Steve Ditko, Stan Lee goodness. Look at this cover, man. These old Steve Ditko covers are pretty amazing. We got first appearance of Kraven the Hunter, also known as Sergei Kravenov.
Sergei.
Yeah, and it's like triple key, guys. A lot of people forget about this. You look at this book and you're like, oh, first Kraven, good book. You forget about the other keys. Second appearance of the Chameleon. Wait, no, Chameleon. And that's the first mention of the Mary Jane. No, not that Mary Jane. The other Mary Jane. Watson. Not the weed. No, they didn't do that.
Oh,
they didn't talk about that stuff back in
that
1960.
Mary, the devil's lettuce. Whatever.
Mary Jane. So it's crazy there's like a first mention of Mary Jane, which I'm pretty sure this is probably when her aunt was trying to like hook her up with Peter's aunt, or back and forth. Like, you got to meet my daughter, Mary Jane. Or niece, Mary Jane, yeah. That sort of thing. They kept mentioning her. You're like, yeah, you gotta meet her. You're gonna dig this redhead. And he's like, I'm already juggling like 2 or 3 other girls right now, Aunt May. I don't need to see another one.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because they mentioned her in issue 15, but she doesn't really come out until issue 43.
Yeah,
that's a big time wait.
Oh yeah. They were brewing her for a while. All right. Anyway, why is this amazing key even more popular than it was a year ago? Well, you could probably all guess. Sony had a finger in that, and they're making a new Sony movie called Kraven the Hunter, which, with their track record of movies like Venom, Morbius, and Madam Web, I have not a strong feeling about this movie. I may or may not watch it, although my boy Aaron Taylor Johnson's going to be leading the leading man in the movie, and there's some potential. I'm not a huge fan that they're giving him like extra special powers because he didn't really have that in the comics. I don't like those kinds of changes as much. I don't care if they like flip-flop the story around a bit so that you don't know exactly what's going to happen. That's always fun, but I don't really like when they change everything about it. Like he's a completely different person with completely different powers. Just then at that point, don't call it Kraven. It's not. But anyway, I like Aaron Taylor Johnson. I feel like lately a lot of people have been giving him guff for some of the roles he's been in. But if you didn't know, which Zach probably didn't right now, he's going to be the new James Bond. So that's going to be pretty amazing, right? Did you know that, Zach?
Ta-da. I didn't know that.
Yeah, so that's going to be crazy. Anyway, despite any rumor with the Kraven movie, whether it's going to be crappy or not, or whether you're excited about it or not, an ASM 15 will always be a great book. It may have taken a small little drop, but Zach will let you know. It's number 3 on the list.
Is that guy British?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways, I was craving for a good book a year ago for a CDC 7.5, because much higher than that, there's hardly any sales.
Nope.
There's 2,600. Now, my craving has been satisfied. I don't want it anymore. At 1,371 for 7.5. Fantastic price for 7.5 at that level. Range is 1,371. The high is 3,199. Average sell is 2,356. It's a 47% drop for this Silver Age bombshell. Beautiful. I can't believe it. There was one 9.8 sold in 2021 September. September 2021. September. Yeah, for $78,000.
Ah!
I think that was a bargain. That book should be worth.
You're like, do you want a brand new Winnebago, or do you want a 9.8 First Craven?
Or Rivian? Well, Rivian. Actually, that's a cheap Rivian. There's 3,335 total graded. There's only 2 9.8s. That's less than 1% of total graded.
You think?
I think this book would be fantastic to get because it's in the original 50. If you're a Spider-Man collector, you want to try to get the original 50, including, of course, AF-15. And to get this book in like a 5.0, I think it would look really amazing. I think this is a must-have for any Spider-Man collector. And I think right now is probably the best time. It's maybe after the movie comes out. I don't know when it's coming out. It should be soon.
Yeah, it's hard to say with the writer strikes, but yeah.
Yeah, so maybe right after, unless the show was like amazing, because if they did it more like that Keanu Reeves movie,
Constantine?
No, not that Constantine. No, I just had the thing in my head where he's like shooting everybody.
John Wick.
If he did more like a John Wick, like action pretty much the entire time, it'll be a good show. Like slow in the beginning, and then bam, action, and it doesn't stop until just right at the end. I think that's how
it could be redemption if it's rated R. If it's rated R, they might, which they bite that dude's nose off. So that sounds like something you would do in a rated R movie.
Yeah, it sounds like, unless they.
You're like, kids, when you're at school and you're getting bullied, just make sure to bite the bully's nose off. Yeah, we're sending the wrong message to the kids.
Yeah, exactly. So this is almost the right time. Unless you just want to pull the trigger on it, it's a great time to get this book. If you want to wait a little bit until the movie comes out and potentially go off of those losses.
It's a little bit of a gamble, because if it is good, it may go up.
It may go up.
But if it sucks, it's going to go way down. Yeah, well, it's down as a Silver Age good.
Yeah, book that can go down. And it can't go down not much more than this. It can't. It's just too good of a book. It's an original 50. So, yeah, I would consider buying this book right now.
All right.
Unless you gamble and wait a little bit.
There you go. All right, guys. We made it to number 2 on the list, and I'm super surprised this wasn't number 1. You're gonna get a little crazy when you see what number 1 is. We got Spider-Man issue number 7, 2023. Only a year old. This is the spoiler variant, the Humberto Ramos cover. Originally drawn by Mark Bagley and written by Dan Slott. This is everyone's favorite first Spider-Boy. We got Bailey Briggs taking, Peter Parker, Bailey Briggs. It's a good name. I think it's a solid name. If you're unfamiliar with Spider-Boy, he popped up last year on the tail end of the most recent Spider-Verse. We're about to go into a new Spider-Verse, but last year we had a Spider-Verse as well. Feel like we're getting one every year. They basically had a special knife that when they stabbed certain characters, they would be like cut off from the web of life, and they would be erased from everyone's memory that they ever even existed. A few major characters like Spider-Woman Jessica Drew, as well as the real Peter Parker, both get stabbed with the knife and get erased from everyone's memory that they ever existed in the comic, which was kind of cool. They had to pull in different characters to kind of lead the team to figure things out. Well, as they always do for the most part in comics, they come out successful. They're able to destroy the Blade, and by doing so, all of the people that were erased by the Blade came back out. And so Jessica Drew came back, Peter Parker came back, and for some reason, this little dude named Bailey Briggs came back. And kind of strangely enough, everyone remembered them too, but everyone's memory of Bailey was forgotten. So he came back and was like, hey, I got stabbed by the knife, and that's why no one remembers me. And now we're going on this cool journey where everyone's kind of, I guess, remembering him. No one's officially remembered him so far, but they're allowing him to be part of the Marvel Universe. He's kind of the unwritten sidekick to Peter now, even though Peter's kind of like, I can't bring a kid into battle, so it's kind of a little iffy. He's like, it's kind of poking fun at Batman a little bit, where it's like, why are you taking this little kid to go like hunt down serial killers and murderers? That's crazy talk. But I've really enjoyed this character. I know a lot of people are, kind of like tired of these new characters that pop up out of the Spider-Verse. I feel like he's different. Not just me saying it. If you get time, read him. You may enjoy him. He has very reminiscent of early Spider-Man stuff where it's like a kid, learning the ropes. He does have a little bit different powers. He has super strength. He can stick to walls. He doesn't really use any web shooters that I've seen so far, so he's kind of like running around. He's not as strong as Spider-Man. That may just be due because of his age. But when he gets really angry, he does actually morph into like a spider head where his fangs come out and he gets extra eyes and he looks a little scary, which they haven't like officially said the reasoning for that. It may have something to do with somebody that was merging animals with people, but they haven't officially said the reasoning behind that. Anyway, I think he's a cool character. They're splashing him in all the books. He's been in Miles books. He's been in Spider-Woman books, so I don't think he's going away anytime soon. His books definitely dropped quite a bit. Then Zach will probably have to tell you more on that. Just some side notes. For some reason, when he came out and everybody wanted this book so bad, that Amalgam character, Spider-Boy, got a big spike out of this, which was kind of crazy. That was that cross between Superboy and Ben Reilly. That's kind of fun. And there's not much of a bolo on this. There is a lot of other versions of this. I would say this copy is the one to go after because it's that spoiler variant. The regular cover A has some value to it. I think time will tell. This one will be the one to go after. There is a second print 1 in 25 cover, which is the exact same as this one that has some basically equal value of this one, but I still think this one would probably be the better one to go after because a lot of people got the second print, so I feel like there's a lot of 1 in 25s of that book out there. Anyway, maybe the right time to get this one. If you're Zach, he'll probably tell you it's not. But let's talk about price.
Well, he was my boy a year ago for a CGC 9.8. It's $150.
Brand new book too. That's crazy.
Brand new book. Now he's been given an F. So now he's been put in the corner, put the dunce cap on. He's shamed me. I once knew a boy, and I forgot his name because he's dead to me. At $56, you can get a 9.8.
Whoa.
Yep. Range is $50 to, it says $485. I think that was a miscalculation. So I looked at the next for sure sale of the highest grade in a year period, $260. So for sure it was selling for $260.
Somebody
at the
overpaid.
height.
Sorry,
Yeah.
comic fam.
Average sales 106. It's a 63% drop. Ouch. There's 6,087 total graded. 4,903 are 9.8. That's pretty much a record right there. That's 80% of total graded. So this book, you could just toss it to CGC and they'll just like 9.8. They won't even think about it. So if you want this book, buy it raw, send it in, get a 9.8. Maybe
9.9.
9.9.
9.9.
There is no 9.9s.
Really?
So, yeah.
The paper quality for Marvel right now is terrible, guys. It is terrible. Like, I swear, half the books I'm buying brand new off the shelf feel like they may have water damage. I don't know. It's ridiculous. The paper quality is terrible right now. So keep that in mind. You get a 9.9 in a book in 2023 or 2024, you may have something.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Unless you get it for a steal, don't buy the 9.8. Just make your own 9.8.
I have high hopes for Bailey Briggs. I have high hopes. Anyway, if you're surprised this book was not number one, I can't believe it wasn't. We've got the number one drop book in the world, in the multiverse. We got Star Wars.
Can't believe it.
Heir to Empire, issue number 1. It's a Dark Horse book from 1995. Matthew Lefray, and the book is actually written by Timothy Zahn and is converted into a comic by a group of other people. So Timothy Zahn did not actually write this comic, but he wrote the book that was adapted from. So keep that in mind. This is the first appearance of the Grand Admiral Thrawn and a little side character known as Mara Jade, who is the untold wife of Luke Skywalker. This book, just to keep in mind so it doesn't confuse all of you Star Wars aficionados there, is technically not canon. So that I feel like they're going to have a hard time ever making this canon because of Mara Jade kind of ruins that whole deal with it. They've rewritten a lot of stuff with Grand Admiral Thrawn that is canon, and it kind of touches on stuff in this book, but it's not. Nothing will be official because so far in the Star Wars universe, Luke never had a wife, Mara Jade, so that's going to be a little bit rough as things go. But Thrawn himself is canon and is definitely a heavy hitter in the Star Wars universe. First showed up in the Rebels cartoon, killed it. Was voiced by Lars Mikkelsen, who is an amazing actor as well as a voice actor. Just an amazing show altogether. I can't give it any higher praise. And last year we had Ahsoka, the live-action sequel to Rebels, come out, where we got Lars Mikkelsen as well reprise the role in live action, which I think he did a good job. There's a lot of people that give the show, either people really loved it or they really hated it. It's kind of an interesting thing. It's like nobody said, like, I'm not saying nobody, but overall I think it's very split in the middle. A lot of people really liked it and a lot of people didn't like it. I personally loved the show. It was amazing for me. Anyway, this book, obviously because of the show coming out, the book dropped a lot. Obviously, spoilers here, Thrawn did not die in the show, which I feel like he is still slated to be the next big bad. Whatever they decide to call the next series, I feel like Thrawn could be a great name for the show. Star Wars has done this one and done sort of thing where they have a Book of Boba Fett, and then they don't need a Book of Boba Fett 2, or they have, obviously they have Ahsoka. Maybe they're not going to have an Ahsoka 2. Maybe it'll just be whatever it is. So it's interesting. It's a very interesting thing. I'm surprised this book is so cheap right now. I feel like it should have been a mainstay, but obviously like the Kanan Last Padawan books took huge dips as well. 1 and 6, they were really expensive at one point and are not very expensive. Bolo report on this book. This surprisingly is the cheapest version of all of the other versions of this book, which is kind of crazy. There is a toy promo edition which garnishes more value. I think the reasoning for that is because it did come out way back in 1995 when there wasn't as many toy comics as there is or was now. I feel like there's a lot more of those. This is kind of an early edition of that. There is 3 different newsstand editions of this. I'm kind of wondered why they split 2 of them up, but there is a newsstand which is really expensive. They have a newsstand with a blank newsstand in there, so there should have been a newsstand, but there is none. That one's kind of expensive. And then there's one where there's a sticker of a newsstand over that blank spot, so I kind of feel like that's the same book. Somehow the sticker's not there, but they label them as 2 different books. So if you like one more than the other, either just take off that sticker and then you have the blank newsstand, or keep that sticker on, then you have the sticker of the newsstand. I don't know, they're both worth more than the regular one. I've never seen either of those though in live in front of me. We've had the newsstand once. Yeah, once or twice, which is pretty crazy. Anyway, more importantly, should you forget about the Grand Admiral, or should you be looking for him, maybe in the Outer Rim?
Yeah, he was the leader of the Galactic Fleet Alliance, or something like that, a year ago. For 9.8, you could get it for $1,100. Now, he is the captain of the shrimp boat. Just captain of the shrimp boat, getting shrimp every single day at $312. You get this in a 9.8. Range 312 to as high as 1,425 an entire year. 872 is the average sell price. It's a 72% drop. There's 3,291 total graded. 427 of them are CGC 9.8s. That's 13% total graded.
Wow. That meets the code.
It meets the code.
That meets the code.
People are sleeping on this book. Right now, it seems like it's the time to get it again. Again, we'd probably go raw, because you can save so much money going raw and attempt to get that 9.8. We've actually sent a couple in, I believe. No, we sent one in, and they got a 9.8 for sure. It got 9.8, and then, of course, we sold the other ones. But, yeah, you can still find this book, and you can find it for a steal of a deal, and you can attempt that 9.8, and you can save some money. I'm actually considering almost buying 9.8s whenever I find them in the wild. Like, for cash, 9.8 in the slab, because this book's going to go up. I suspect Mara Jade will show up sometime
Ooh.
Because there's this big wide period of you got Luke being like all wise and knowing and
drinking that milk right from the teat,
being a Jedi master. He like picked up a baby Grogu right for like a minute.
Yep.
Anyways, and then two where he's like, oh, the Force is a bunch of BS. He's like he turned into a angry Yoda. So from that period from then to now. I mean, he could have been married. He could have been married.
Yeah.
He could have started a Jedi Order and have it all fall apart and lost his wife. And there's a nice little bit of story there for them to tell that Mara Jade existed. Because it would be very interesting to have the Emperor's hand. Like that story, like show her with the Emperor's hand. The Empire crashes down and her chasing after Luke to try to kill him. Instead, try to kill him.
Dropping some knowledge.
Instead of deciding to kill him, decides to go on dates with him apparently, and I think they even had a kid or two. Pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, for Star Wars books in general, they're a very fickle thing, and I feel like if you want this book to keep in your collection forever, understand that. Try to buy it on the low, but when it does go up, it will go back down. None of these books will retain their value probably long term. I mean, eventually it may go up 20, 30 years from now to a more sustainable rate. But other than issue 1 of 1977, I would pretty much guarantee you that all of the good Star Wars books will go back down significantly after their TV or movie spec goes away. So just keep that in mind. I've come to the kind of realization that like any of these books that I want for my PC, I'm just going to buy them when they're on the low and keep them forever. And if I really don't want them, I'll try to sell them on the high. That's just kind of the nature of the beast when it comes to Star Wars. I don't know why that is, but it is. It's the case. It seems to be the case anyways on a lot of these books. Keep in mind, though, a little thing just from my own personal readings lately on Thrawn. They seem to be making him a more sympathetic character. Whereas, like, I know there's been times where in Rebels he seems like pretty much a bad guy. He doesn't have any sort of redeeming qualities other than like his intelligence. Mm-hmm. But definitely in the comics as of lately, you are seeing a softer side of Thrawn, where I feel like they may be pushing him somewhere towards not a good guy, but an anti-hero. If you're going to get like a Punisher or Venom type character out of Thrawn, it may be the case somewhere in the future. Because when he interacts with Darth Vader, you can tell that Darth Vader is the bad guy, and Thrawn's kind of like the, like I'm just going with the flow kind of bad guy. And it could very well lead to him being an anti-hero. So, just saying. Anyway, if you made it to the very end of the show, we put major announcement in the thumbnail. So, let's talk about the major announcement. Right?
Yeah. Let's talk about the
major announcement. The ComicGains crew is going to be switching up what we are having as our show stuff. So we've been doing the drop list every week for well over a couple years now. And we've decided that we'd like to open ourselves up to doing different things that doesn't always have to involve money or the market and stuff like that, because we understand that not everybody cares about those sort of things. So we are going to be dropping the drop list, no pun intended, down to 1 episode a month, and we will be doing extra special things to fill in on the Monday. So it could be anything from comic book reviews, which I'm really excited about, to open discussions about the Star Wars universe, which could be really exciting.
And maybe some how-to videos.
Yeah, Zach would love to do some more how-to videos, and Princess has many ideas that you'll have to come check out the new shows on Mondays just to see what they're about. So I think it'll be a little more exciting. Like I said, there's things that we sometimes want to talk about that we have to like kind of squeeze into our other shows. And it'd be nice to just dedicate a show directly to those topics. Because the comic world is changing, and like I said, money with comics is not always the major aspect for everybody. And so it's a nice thing to do. Let us know any ideas that you guys want us to do for upcoming shows. Leave them down below in the comments, as well as like and subscribe. We'd love to get some new ideas, just kind of talk about maybe some more open discussions and things like that would be cool. Maybe even doing some guests on the show as well. We don't really leave ourselves a lot of times for guests, which would be cool. And you got anything else special, Zach?
Yeah, you got to share. And how you do that is come join us live on Wednesday because we're going to be unboxing a really good friend. Oh yeah, also that we'll talk about that. We're going to be unboxing a really good friend's like care package that they sent to us. I have a few issues. Send us a care package, and it's going to be amazing. He's a good member of the show, and when he sends us care packages, it's always amazing, always fun, and hopefully he didn't have to send them from Australia. I can't quite remember where he's from right now, but yeah, his home base is on Australia, down under. So we're very excited, and hopefully you guys show up and see what we got in this box.
All right. Until we see you next time, stay safe and remember.
Don't forget what.con, April 11th to the 14th. We're on the 13th. See you there. Bye.
Bye.